Hello everybody, hope you're doing all right and you had a good Easter. That's the main important thing, isn't it? Mine wasn't bad, had a couple of jobs to do. We had a good live on Sunday night, go and check that out in the description. Had a good chat and covered a few subjects, so it's always good. Yesterday was April Fool's Day, of all things, so you have to be careful what you talk about. Basically, anything before midday, don't go anywhere near it because you could end up with egg on your face. If it's after midday, you're reasonably safe. I think the saying goes, doesn't it? If you pull an April Fool on somebody after 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you're the fool. And I've fallen for that a couple of times. Anyway, welcome to everybody that's here for the first time. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and all that stuff. I wanted to tell you a story of once upon a time. There was a guy called Nigel Farage, yes, and he decided that he was going to try and get hold of a parliamentary seat called South Thanet. And he came down here and he threw everything in the kitchen sink at South Thanet, and he was seen in all the pubs. He was seen walking around all the streets, knocking on people's doors, talking to people and saying hello, because at the time UKIP, the UK Independence Party, wanted that seat and they thought Nigel Farage was best placed. I actually went to one of the events at one of the pubs that he was doing because I wanted to see what they had to say, and it was very, well, convincing. Very convincing. And unfortunately, I think the Conservatives threw everything that they had at this, and Nigel Farage didn't get the seat. A chap called Craig McKinley did, and at the current time he still holds it. Now they're remodelling all of the boundaries and everything to do with parliamentary seats, and South Thanet, where I live, is now going to become East Thanet. And I've already spoken about the lefty type person, ex-BBC individual, that's going to try and usurp them on Labour's behalf. We've already got the same old trick, haven't we? If you vote for anything else but Labour or Conservative, you'll let Labour into office. And let's face it, there's a great majority of people within this country who, still feel like that the only choices are Labour or Conservative, and will vote accordingly. And I had a very interesting question in the live on Sunday, which basically said, why don't you like Labour? And I explained myself and said it's the actual whole political establishment I've fallen out of love with, really, and I think it needs complete and utter reformation of some kind. It needs scrapping and starting again, in plain language. Now, the biggest fear the establishment have at the moment seems to be the Reform Party. The whole idea of a reformation of some kind of our political way of doing things is very appealing to me. I have my concerns, which I've catalogued in other videos. You've got certain already establishment figures who want to get in the Reform Party, probably because they're fearful if they sit under the Conservative banner, or Labour for that matter, they'll be out in their ear hole. I don't like that, because that's not reform, is it? Well, I saw an interesting news article, this one here, and it said, would reform stand aside to ensure the Conservatives got in? Now, this sent very, very major alarm bells through my head, and I'll explain why. By the way, I checked the time on this, being it was published yesterday, and it was actually 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm going to assume it wasn't an April Fool, just to cover myself. You see, before the Reform Party, there was the Brexit Party, and we all know about that, so I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. The Brexit Party was born out of the ashes of Nigel Farage's attempts with UKIP to get Brexit over the line. Now, when I listened to the Brexit Party, and I also went and saw an event of theirs as well, one where Ben Habib was there and actually spoke at great length. Very impressive man in front of a crowd. They gave us the idea of this political reformation, the fact that the whole system's broken and it needs to change. So as well as Brexit, which, let's face it, hasn't been delivered in any way, shape or form, they were going to deliver a reformation of British politics, one that we could all be proud of, and one that would, well, get our country back, which is what they're spouting now. So I thought, might be onto something there. And I got quite friendly with the local prospective parliamentary candidate that was going to do this area. In fact, he lives just round the corner from where I'm recording this video right now. And we're all go. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, Nigel Farage says, I'm going to stand down a very large portion of my candidates in key seats where the Conservatives have a chance of winning. And lo and behold, in they go. Now, the whole idea was to get Brexit over the line. Get Brexit done! Nigel Farage's nemesis Boris Johnson used to say, well, Brexit wasn't done at all. Brexit was a complete cock-up from beginning to end. I'm still waiting for a genuine Brexit. And as somebody said to me the other day, give me an advantage of Brexit. I said, what Brexit? It hasn't happened yet. So they stiffed us, all because of a backroom political deal. I was fuming. And any disenfranchisement I had at that point in time, any disillusionment, was very much solidified because of that backroom deal. So roll forward all this time, we have Reform, which was born out of the ashes of Brexit Party. And think, yeah, we'll vote Reform. Any poll that I've put on this channel has always been, I'll vote Reform, no problem. Let's do it, we need to change. Yeah, I get it, I understand it, and I agree with it. But then I'll put this up again. Should the Reform Party stand aside to make room for the Tories? If they did that, then yet again that would show that the whole establishment has it all stitched up in one neat tiny bundle, doesn't it? We will never get the reformation we want. We will never see the light at the end of the tunnel. To me, it's a very timely and very worrying news article to be pushed out there, and funnily enough, pushed out by GB News. Let me know what you think in the comments, but it's certainly got my spidey senses tingling, and I wonder what the hell's going to happen next. Anyway, thank you very much. Make sure you hit the like button, share the hell out my stuff. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.